What's good, Commanders fans? So William Jackson will be hitting the road jack. He will most likely be released. This is per Jeremy Fowler. I'm going to read the tweet real quick and then talk about it. So this is per Jeremy Fowler at ESPN. He says, the Commanders are expected to release cornerback William Jackson III if there's no trade partner by the deadline, which is at 4 p.m. today. Teams have called on William Jackson, but no trade has materialized, and the back injury was also believed to be a factor. William Jackson signed a $40.5 million deal in 2021. This is also per Spot Rack. The Commanders will likely release quarterback William Jackson. He will leave behind dead cap hits of $13.4 million in 2022. He'll leave a dead cap of $9 million in 2023, which is next year, $6.75 million saved by the Commanders. He'll have earned $27 million of the $40.5 million free agent contract. So this is just another disappointing signing of cornerbacks. It really does remind me of the Josh Norman signing, but honestly, Josh Norman had a better tenure here in D.C. than what William Jackson did, to be honest with you. Also, Nikki Javala, she reported, she says, one thing to note, if the Commanders release William Jackson after 4 p.m., he's subject to the waiver process, which means another team can claim him within 24 hours, and Washington would be off the hook for his salary. If he's not claimed, he becomes a free agent. So hopefully a team does claim him. It's kind of likely that they won't claim him and take on that contract. We'll see. But yeah, a lot of teams are going to be looking for him once he's released. But, I think the best thing we could get is like a 7th round or 6th round pick. I don't know if that back injury is real or not. I'm not going to speak on the man's injury, but I just know he didn't want to be here. I think the feeling was mutual from both sides. Ron Rivera didn't want him to be here anymore. William Jackson doesn't want to be here anymore. Of course, he's more of a man coverage corner. Jack Dover does like to play zone. He does mix it up, but zone, man, William Jackson, he just wasn't playing well either. He really wasn't. I think the last game that broke the straw that broke the camel's back was in Cooper Rush, kept targeting William Jackson over and over. He got the pass interference. Then he got cooked by CeeDee Lamb. Then he got cooked by Noah Brown. It was just terrible for him. Pac-Man Jones making troll videos of William Jackson, making fun of him. He just, he was a penalty machine last year. I remember he got cooked by Darius Slayton, got cooked by Kenny Galladay in the Giants game. The first half of the season for the Commanders last year, the Washington football team, he was awful. Then he did get better towards the end of the year where we went on the run, like the 4-game winning streak. He was playing pretty well. He's playing okay. But this year, the first 4 games were just abysmal. They were awful. And also the defense has looked better without him. Now we have gotten some lucky breaks. We had a couple drops here and there. The Packers receivers were dropping everything left and right. Last week, Wild Goose got lucky because Michael Pittman dropped a pass. So, but they just played better as a unit. They have played better. Of course, they played against some weaker offenses. But you look at the numbers for William Jackson III, the advanced stats on Pro Football Reference. You look at his passer rating, the passer rating that he gave up, how many catches he gave up. He was pretty darn bad through 4 games. He gave up a 121.9 quarterback rating. He gave up 2 touchdowns, 70% completion percentage allowed as well. I think both the touchdowns were from the Cowboys game. Both years he was here, he gave up 100 quarterback rating. He gave up 6 touchdowns in 2021, which was last year, and 59% completion percentage allowed, which is better. Like I said, last year he was a little bit better, but this year he was just bad. It was just a bad signing. It wasn't a good fit for him. It wasn't a good scheme fit at all. It's just a disappointing signing from Ron Rivera. It really was, and it did not work out. William Jackson, he didn't want to be here. When he was on the injury report, and they kind of went back and forth where the media, I think it was after the Titans game when he got benched, they asked him, they were like, hey, were you benched? What's going on? He said it was his back. And then Ron Rivera just kind of said no comment. We just made a business decision, or we made a decision to not play William Jackson. So that basically meant that he was benched. So they were saying 2 different things, and then he didn't take the flight to go to Chicago on the Thursday night football game. And they're shopping him, listening to offers, and nobody's going to give up anything for him. They're just going to wait for him to get released, and they're going to pick him up. I can see the Ravens picking him up. I can see a couple teams that are playoff teams trying to get William Jackson. Maybe even the Cowboys, like Jordan Schultz said. We'll see. And we can see this guy. We can play against him in the last game of the season on the Cowboys. I don't think they'll sign him, but I could definitely see the Ravens. The Ravens are very aggressive. The Ravens just traded for Roquan Smith. They definitely need corners. They need corner depth. We need corner depth, honestly. We need to go out there and get another corner, to be honest with you. I'm a little concerned with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen and KJ Osborne and their receivers against, Kendall Fuller, Wild Goose, and Ben St. Jude. It's gonna be a tough Sunday for us. against the Vikings, but I do think it's a winnable game. So William Jackson, it is what it is. Ron Rivera, some of his signings. Ron has had some good signings and some bad signings. Of course, the Andrew Norwell and Trey Turner signings have been awful so far. But he's made some okay, so like the J.D. McKissick signing was good. Logan Thomas was a good signing. Ryan Fitzpatrick, that was a flop of a signing. Wes Schweitzer is a good signing. Eric Flowers, when he traded for him, that was a good trade, but of course he didn't bring him back. So Ron Rivera, the whole Panther thing and some of his free agent moves have just really, really been underwhelming for sure. So, yeah, Ben Stanley just said the Commanders have considered training Will Jackson, but they're most likely going to release him. So that's all I got on Will Jack, man. It is what it is. He got burnt a lot while he was here. But I think he's one of those guys that will go to a different team and play better. So I'm happy this saga is over. I really wish we could have at least got a 7th round pick. But it looks like we're going to be getting nothing. So basically like the Josh Norman story, the Josh Norman deal. All right, you guys let me know what you guys think. Hail to Commanders. Peace.